So I've been meeting a lot of different types of TIs. Some have been very pessimistic, some have been very disturbed, some have been very sensitive. More and more, though, are getting active and speaking out. And for a long time, TIs were just talking about their personal experiences, but in the last year or so, I think we have really moved on and people are really getting proactive, and the information and I'd say literal stars that are emerging is great. This video observes that all TIs are on edge, our tolerance is lower, and that can be difficult when two people meet and are having those same sort of experiences. And it may have been difficult for TIs to really come together and work together. I think some TIs have upset each other easily, but let's keep working at how we can foster really genuine and honest, but also really considerate relationships, because I get the sense that these are core social skills that have been ignored in the commercial narrative and are actually necessary for the advanced society that responsible-minded adults want to create. And I also always emphasise, when I say really honest, in terms of feedback, constructive feedback, I always personally welcome that. So I would like to try to speed up TI proactive actions. So I believe that greater collaboration is necessary, but it is also important that people don't rush ahead too quickly with legal cases before a genuine lawyer who is working genuinely for the case of TIs has had a look at it, because there are a lot of pitfalls, and it would be a terrible shame to lose all the money and effort by the points not being checked beforehand rather than afterwards. So I would like to try to suggest that TIs should take as much action and encourage others to take as much action as they can. But this is not, by the way, to try to direct other TIs' behaviour, because that would be negative, and that's not what I'm trying to do either. So, but I think it's important that many TIs. I think many TIs haven't taken action, actually, not because they are following their own individual wishes, but it's because rather they've been brainwashed by the system to believe that there's nothing they can do. And I think that while we don't have everything, it's really important to hold on very tightly to the sources of strength that we do have. And in this case, we do have laws and we do have a legal system, a domestic and international legal system that can protect us. So I think it's important for TIs to remember that they must continue to seek the protection of the legal system. And they do so by empowering themselves and becoming aware of their legal rights, because becoming aware of your legal rights is almost like the key that opens the door to the strength of the legal system. And I'm going to be providing some more information about that in later videos, but at the moment I will just mention the United Nations Committee on Torture, and there's also a convention on torture, but there's a website which I'll put a link to in the bottom of the video, and that's really the sort of the higher level legal system that we have in place, and that has been put in place by state bodies. It seems to me is that, you know, there is a path to freedom, and that is the legal path, and we have to basically re-infiltrate our legal authorities. They've taken decades to put people into these legal authorities, and they've infiltrated the system and they've taken over our legal systems, but we have to take them back, and we do so by presenting undeniable legal arguments. However, we have to use what Catherine Horton terms as system judo, because bringing a case individually is easily ignored by the system. we have to leverage all the sources of strength that we do have, which is the legal system plus the strength of the public, because there are 7 billion people in the world who don't want to go along with this and who are entitled to the protections of their domestic and international legal systems, and that's precisely what these systems are in place for. So we have to leverage the sources of strength that we have, and that we must remember that we can do so, and we also must take the action that enables us to do so, which is becoming aware of our legal rights and taking the time to research those, and becoming skilled at just the strategic aspect, which is combining your legal rights with the public leverage which comes from publicising what you're doing as well.